I think we are live. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. This is Fala Kemi Ikuyemino. I am your teen coach and parenting partner. I'm here to support you in the journey of raising confident and thriving teens by communicating and connecting effectively. I'd like to say thank you for being a part of this group. It's really an honor to serve you in this group, and I'm looking forward to more engagement, to hearing what your views are, and for us to just rub minds together. Right, I just thought I'd jump in on the Sunday evening live to hello viewer. I can't see who you are. Say hi if you're there. Say hi if you're there. Let's know who is there. Just give it a couple of minutes. It won't be long. I just wanted to, come and talk a bit more about self-esteem and specifically looking at body image amongst our teens. And some of us will remember, how self-conscious we were as teenagers, and it comes with being a teenager. There's no big deal about being self-conscious, because that's the way that's what happens with teenage hormones. But what's important is that we realize when these things are happening, so that we can support our teenagers. Now, does poor self-esteem have anything to do with does body image have anything to do with poor self-esteem? Absolutely, a million times. Most teenagers and most adults with low self-esteem also have a poor body image. They tend to view their body negatively, and they spend a lot of time examining. Oh, thanks, Sister Bumi. I see you. You see, they spend a lot of time examining their body, fixating on flaws, you know, Sis Bridget, good to see you. Good to see you. So, talking about body image, it affects us as adults, and it affects our teenagers as well. So that they're fixating on the flaws. They spend lots of time in front of the mirror. Each time there's a spot, each time there's a blackhead, it becomes a major source of income. Did I say income? It becomes a major source of concern and heartache for them. And and they say, oh, everybody sees it, everybody's going to see it. And they start, they just goes on and on. Whereas sometimes it's just a little spot. Okay, it comes with the age, but sometimes poor self-esteem can make it worse. Okay, now look at what social media has caused as well. You know, we are bombarded left, right, and center with images of perfect looking models, messages that tell us what a perfect body looks like, and how important it is to have a perfect body. So the illusion of the ideal body size, it's a big one on our screens. And when someone explained how social media works, I was listening to someone this morning. I thought, wow, when we were growing up, we had the radio, that was just audio. Then we had the television, which was audio and visual. But social media has come, and it has encompassed everything. There's audio, there's visual, and there's interaction. So that's why it catches their attention, because it's very, quite attractive to be able to engage with something. So the message to be thinner, primarily targeted at the girls, it's a significant factor in the development of poor body image. About 70% of girls, rank body satisfaction as a major item of concern. They're just not happy with what their body looks like. Now, there could be a plus side to poor body image. It might motivate an overweight teen to start you know, adopting a more healthy lifestyle and start exercising. Yes, that could happen, but it could also go to the other extreme. It could lead to unhealthy dieting. It could lead to poor eating habits, so that they want to achieve that perfect body weight. They start doing things that damage, their body. Eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, even obesity, excessive eating. So if they resort to comfort eating because they are upset, so they can also hide away, and they avoid social contact because of the poor, body image. They're embarrassed. They don't want to be criticized by others. Some of them would dress in a way to disguise parts of their body. So some of them wear heavy makeup as well. Because they have spots, they have acne, they wear heavy makeup. They're constantly, I watch them in the classroom and I'm just amazed. They're constantly, looking in the mirror, checking to see, they're in school, for goodness sake. Well, they're checking their faces, they're spraying, they're using body spray, they're pulling up their skirt, just adjusting. It's, they're so aware of what they should look like, or trying to be perfect. Okay, so, and some of them will brood over things they can't change on their bodies. This leads to, low moods, it leads to frustration, hopelessness, sometimes a worsening of their self-esteem. I don't know what you have observed. If you're there, can you share what you have observed in, amongst the teenagers? What do you think? What do you think before I go on? If you're still there, tell me a bit more. What do you think about self-image and self-esteem amongst our teens? I'm hoping my system is not being glitchy. Okay, no reactions. I will go on. Please share as I go on. Right, so let's look at what can we do. How can we help them? But before I go on, let me read you some statistics, okay? Because body image is such a big deal for teenagers, and actually for most of us adults, it is as well. In a UK study, more than half of them said they worry about how they look. Okay? 36% said they would do anything in order to look good. Now that's scary. That doing anything in order to look good. Anything at all. So that's a worrying one. 57% said they've considered going on a diet, and 10% have contemplated plastic surgery. Imagine if those 10% could actually afford plastic surgery, what they would do. And 10% of the boys have considered taking steroids. Now, that's scary for me, because their bodies are growing. They don't need any extra hormones, extra things, happening in their bodies. Right, I'll read your comment. They get a bit touchy when you mention those body parts. Absolutely. Okay? They get touchy. They're trying to, parts they're trying to hide. And then you talk about it. It can cause a flare up. Or they can just decide to, just ignore you and have, a grumpy time. So it's really, it can be really challenging for us as parents to see them going through. Sometimes you're even trying to reassure them that, look, it's not as bad as you think it is. But they're so fixated excuse me, on that part. And the data, what we see is worrisome, and we need to start addressing these challenges so that we can keep them safe. How can we encourage positive body image? Let's provide a supportive environment. Let's be aware. Let's ensure that there's no undue emphasis on weight, that there's no undue emphasis on appearance. And what do I mean by that? If we constantly talk about, and I'm sometimes guilty about that, about how we look. If we constantly talk about how we can't eat this food, and how, I'm not saying let's not talk, don't talk about healthy eating, but if there's a way we do it that comes across as, you're being disciplined and you're making good choices. So let's talk about, let's think about it. Think about, providing an environment that is accepting of where they are, where their bodies are, without emphasis on appearance. Let's compliment them sincerely and model how to accept compliments. I mentioned this in one of the other lives that, when somebody says you look nice, say thank you. Don't deflect it, and don't assume they're trying to patronize you. Okay, and model and affect acceptance of the fact that, as humans, we have a diversity of body shapes and sizes, and that, remind them that what a lot of what we see on social media is just not, it's not true. They know about all the airbrushing and all of this stuff. So let them understand that, we're all different, and there's, thankfully, that's what makes the world go around. We have a diversity of body shapes and sizes, and that's fine. Okay. Also, let's be aware of our own personal self-image as parents. Take note of how you feel about your body. I'm used to be really guilty of this, constantly talking about my weight, constantly talking about my tummy or my hips. The way we speak about ourselves, it has an impact on them. Watch the language you use when we talk about your own body. Okay, because they copy what we model. Now, if you're unhappy with your body and constantly make reference to a part of your physique, like I just said, like I was always talking about my tummy, you feed their insecurities, because our children tend to take after they tend to take after us, sometimes in our body shape and style. So if you find that your food course has been negative, like I was, make a conscious effort to ensure that you focus on the things you like about your body. Make a conscious effort to say things like, oh, I think this skirt really suits me. Oh, this shirt really looks nice on me. And what that teaches them is that they can look in the mirror and actually appreciate what they are seeing. I think most of us look in the mirror and all we see is the negative. I think our minds have been trained to look out for the flaws. And let's turn that, let's twist that. These days I look in the mirror and I give myself a compliment. Like, oh, you're looking hot, you're looking good. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not pride. It's just you accepting that, this is who I am and I don't need to be anybody else. And I'm happy with that. Of course, if we need to work on our bodies, we do work on them. Okay, right. If we notice that our teens are going on the excessive, if they're overeating, or if they're under eating, if you think there's an eating disorder, please, if there's restrictive eating, please seek help earlier, because the number of young people, especially girls, and interestingly, I know a young boy, nice, plumpy young man who started, binging on his food because he didn't like, the fact that people kept saying, oh, I like your chubby cheeks, oh, you're looking really, and people would touch his cheeks and he didn't like it. So they're really very sensitive at this age. So we just need to be, careful and support them as much as we can. And on that note, let's be conscious of what we say to them about their body parts. A lot of teasing. If they're chubby, we say, oh, chubby cheeks. If they're slim, we say, we find something to say about, what the physique looks like. They take it to heart. They really do take it to heart. So that banter, we need to please watch it. Okay, it can trigger body image issues like a young man I mentioned, and even the amount of hair on their head. I remember people laughing at me as a child because my hair, I don't have plenty of hair, and spurs, little things like that. Teeth, one person, commented on one of my posts that, she had to her teeth were pushing out, and she was subject to a lot of jokes, and they get it from their classmates as well. So let's support them, let's encourage them, let's be aware that they are under a lot of pressure to be and to look like other people, and that can be really, really hard. I hope this has been of help. If you're still there, would you like me to, do you have a question, or would you like to add anything to what we've just discussed? So this is where we are, supporting our teens with their self-esteem, with their body image. If you need to go to the gym, you can go together. You can look at how to eat healthily together, and we can model these things so that we can enjoy. Even if we're having to shed some weight, we can have fun together, modeling the fact that I'm making this choice because it's healthier. And then they can begin to see that we are on the way to adjusting as well. Right, so if you do watch this replay, please put hashtag replay. If you're in this group and you haven't got my PDF on how to connect with your teens, please comment at the bottom of this video. I will send it to you. And while I'm at it, I have a new recording on promoting self-esteem in your teen. It's a 30-minute recording that goes in depth into self-esteem. If you want that one, please comment, do hashtag self-esteem training, and I would get to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a lovely rest of the day and have a fantastic week. Thanks, sisters, for joining. Thank you, Sister Bumi. Thank you, Sister Bridget. Bye.